Hey YouTube family, welcome to part 2 of the Dean Chronicles. There it is, still on the bench. So before taking it apart, I'm just going to crack these neck screws and see if I can get any neck adjustment at all to correct that string alignment, or I assume that the problem is situated somewhere else. It might be as simple as just a readjustment there. So I know the strings are under tension, so I just want to crack these, loosen them a bit. All right, I want to see if I get any movement here. You know what? There's very little movement. It's pretty tight in the pocket. So, don't think that you can get a little bit. But that could also be that the screws here are biting into the body. And if that's the case, we're not going to be able to get any adjustment anyway. So, all right. You know what? We're going to cross our fingers that this string alignment thing isn't a big deal. And we're just going to proceed. I'm going to take this thing apart. We're going to pull the trem out and see what's going on with that. Before I go too far with the string stuff, I've found that for some trems, you can just jam an eraser underneath and it just holds everything in place. So yeah, just take an eraser, put your trem in, bend it forward, drop the eraser under there, and voila. You have a nice soft block. It's not going to bend or hurt anything. Oh, we definitely got some loose tuners. Holy smokes. Everything's moving. They need to be tightened down. I'm just going to unlock these tabs so that strings will come out. I'm going to try and lubricate all these too. Okay, strings are off. While we're in this, I'm just going to take some light grease and I am going to lubricate all of these screws. Just going to put some here in the threads. It's the same stuff I use to lubricate the gears and the tuners. Basically just going to try and, oh yeah, there we go. That makes a huge difference. So I'm going to do that to all of them. So interestingly enough, and maybe some of you caught this, but only this first fine tuner came out. All the other ones don't come out. They stop at the edge of the thread. And I think it's done like that. The threads at the bottom are kinked probably after they're inserted, by the manufacturer to make sure that they don't back out and you lose them. For some reason, this one came out. It was a little hard to take out, but these other 5 did not come out, and I did not want to force them. So I just backed them out all the way, and then I put my little shot of grease there right next to where they insert into the body of the trem, and then put them back in, and that's it. And now they are super nice to adjust. I'm going to do the same thing with these screws that thread into the saddles. Just going to lubricate them, back them off, lubricate them, and then reinsert. These come right out. They have a little tapered tip, and that tip is so it can seat. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little hole inside the locking mechanism. So that little tapered tip goes right in there and pushes that in up against the string. Okay, lubricated all these shafts. Put the locking block back in there. Snug them all up so that we won't lose any of them when we pull this bridge out. Last thing I want to do is I just want to eye the intonation. You have to adjust these saddles by hand. There's no adjustment screw to pull them back or to push them forward. You loosen those screws right here on front of the saddles, and then you have to kind of just, finagle them. But you can't do that under full string tension. So you either got to bring the trem forward, loosen the string, loosen the screw, push the saddle back, tighten the screw, then bring the string tension back up, or you're tuning and tuning and tuning. So there's no easy way. So I'm going to try and line them up. This is a 24 3/4 inch scale. So I'm just going to start with the small E string over here, and hopefully that'll give me a starting point when we get to the point where we're restringing. All right, 24 3/4 would be approximately there. I'm going to set it further back because it's easier to move these forward when the strings are on it than to move them backwards. Hopefully you can see that. But so when the saddle slides all the way back, see how I can move forward? There's actually 3 holes that this locking screw can sit into. So they're all in the first hole. So clearly the intonation is totally out, because as these saddles move back, that first hole will not grab where the G-string saddle would need to be. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try and set that now. All right, I got all these saddles adjusted. So now we're going to take the springs off and pull this trem out and see what the heck is going on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't like how this wire is soldered in there. Definitely got to fix that. That's not even attached. Now you're wondering why there was a hum? Now you know. I'll leave it hang out so I don't forget. And there's the bridge. So 2 of these clips here are kind of hanging low, so they're not applying pressure to the adjustment screw. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to try and bend those up. The E and the A string tabs here were kind of bent down, so they weren't really applying any pressure to these fine tuners. All I did was pull this locking nut out and then grab a little pair of pliers and just bend this tab up, and you're good to go. That's it. Now she's really tight. So now when you put that screw in there, right, push it down, get some really nice tension back on the screw. So when you set your adjuster, it pushes back against it. So yeah, perfect. All right, so now all of these are nice and tight. There's no play. All these tabs are, applying pressure to them. And if you notice, I got the adjustment screws set right about half. So half the threads are on top, half the threads are on the bottom. You can increase the string pitch or loosen the string pitch, but the E string, I have it down a little lower, just so you have enough threads left to back off and you can drop D, that E string. So looking at this bridge from the underside, everything looks okay. The knife edges are good. They're not like dented or pitted. So everything is fine with this piece. So let's have a closer look at these inserts. Oh man. Yeah. These inserts are... Oh yeah, the inserts have failed. They've all pushed forward. See that? I can move that back and forth. Not just the pin, like the actual insert inside the wood. Oh boy. All right. That's not good. Let's see. What are we going to do with that? All right. Ah, man. So this housing doesn't appear to be cracked at all or anything. There's a piece of foam in here. This is all solid. Just looks like the housing just failed. So I think what we're going to do, check to see, make sure this, yeah, see, the screw's nice and straight. So it's not the screw that's bent. Oh, see, it's rolling. It's rolling true on the bench. I don't know if you can see that. Right? It's not wobbling. So these are okay. But the inserts, this is soft wood, and the pressure from the string tension has moved the inserts inside. Oh man. So, jeepers. Yeah, and they're in there. I don't know if they can even, I don't know if they'll even come out. All right, let me try something. I'm gonna try, see if oh yeah, there we go. All right. So I got the insert out. Yeah, it was, that hole is just weak. All right, I have a plan here. I think you guys can probably guess what it is. But use this plate. Oh yeah, there's nothing holding that in there. I can see, that's why that bridge wasn't in the right place. I don't know if you guys going to be able to see that, but it's all caved in the insert there towards that bridge pickup. So that's why the bridge was kind of cocked forward. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to fill those with a dowel and re-drill. These are 10 millimeter inserts. On my caliper gauge, they measure 9.9 millimeters. This is a 25/64 drill bit, which basically measures 9.8 on my caliper gauge. This fits loosely into these holes. I'm going to find a dowel that'll fit in there and glue that all in, and then I will re-drill. I don't have a 10 millimeter dowel to put in those holes, so we're just going to scratch that for now and check out this neck pocket. These are definitely screwed into the body for sure. The neck is not tight in the pocket at all. So the reason we couldn't get any adjustment is because these screws are, screwed directly to the body. There's all kinds of movement there. All right. Those screw holes are going to have to be opened up. Nice pocket though. It's pretty good. But there's no shim in there, but it looks like there used to be one. I can see, I don't know if you guys are seeing that in the video, but it looks like there's an imprint of a shim at the bottom. And from what I've seen with this bridge adjustment, this is definitely going to need a shim to get the action down. That'll work. So, credit card shim. How about that? There's our shim. Just like that. My guess is these frets are pretty level because in the first video when I was kind of just playing around with it, I didn't get any buzzing or fretting out. Now I know the action was high, but still, had one fret been high and I'd have, fretted the fret prior to that one, I would have heard some buzzing. So I didn't hear that. We're just going to check. Oh, okay. Huh. Perfectly level frets. Awesome. Not clean frets though. So anyway, I'm going to go polish these up and condition this fretboard. And that neck will be ready for reinstallation. All right, let's see what's going on with these electronics, because those pickups are out of phase in the middle position. This wire is not connected to anything. And, with the drive on, it was super noisy. So let's see if we can maybe fix something here. All right, so we have 3 dime-sized pots. Looks like volume, tone. Just not sure which pickup is which, I guess, but I would assume that the bridge would be, this one, the one that's further back. But we'll soon find out. All right, got the guitar plugged in. Switch in the bridge position. Bridge is on. Nope. Yep, there we go. So it's this one. This is the one that I'm going to flip the wires on to see if I can get these pickups in phase with each other. For that BC Rich pickup, I just finished switching the lead. So I put the lead where the ground was, I put the ground where the lead was, hoping that'll reverse maybe the polarity or whatever you call that. And in the middle position, these pickups will not be out of phase. Switching. Okay, so that still works. I just don't know if it's in phase now in the middle position. I'll only know that once we plug it in. Insulated cloth wire for the ground. So hopefully that will help. Anyway, we'll find out once everything's back together and the bridge is in. Oh, well, look what I found. $2.50 barbecue skewers that we had bought for camping and we never used. And they have maple ends on them. So, I think I found my dowel. I'll pull this off. Oh. Already has a nice center tap hole. And I need 10 mil. This is 11.3. We're close. If I cut it where these little ripples are, I'll have more than enough. So there's, oh yeah, look, I have almost enough for three dowels for these little inserts. I'm going to stick this in the drill and sand some thickness off until I can fit that in the hole. Okay, I just installed one dowel, and that went really well. There it is. Put some glue in there. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so now to get that out, some of you are thinking, no, don't do it. Works great. Just got to go nice and easy. There we go. All done. All right, cavity's all cleaned up. And there are the 2 dowels. And they're going to dry overnight. And tomorrow, we're going to re-drill those suckers and reinstall those inserts. Okay, I got all my drill bits marked for the right depth of the insert. And I'm going to start with a small one and move up 6 sizes just to be on the safe side. I'm not going to go too big too soon. So yeah, that's the plan.